Hello, Kay with Zuna. I want to take a look at two simple tools that make using NYSE tick so much easier, which are the tick levels and the tick trend. Let's take a quick look at them. Okay, the two indicators I mentioned they're fairly simple indicators. This is the tick levels, which are these three lines, then the zero line, and three lines below the zero line. And then we have that's the tick trend. Okay. I have the NYC tick, which in TradeStation is #TICK, plotted in bars. Real quick, the reason I use indicators because I track so many markets and I can be much more efficient with indicators rather than just trying to read price action. Although I do have a bias to just make decisions off price action, mostly because that's my background. That's how I learned to trade, with pretty much just price action. I found over the years that as using indicators makes me a lot more efficient, allowing me to cover many markets as opposed to just using price action only and being able to stay in touch with just several markets, if that makes sense to you. Now, going back to the ticks being plotted with bars, if I don't use the tick trend, I really like to plot the ticks in candles because I can extract so much more information from candles. It's the same thing. You have open, close, and you have the spread, the high lows. But with candles, visually, you can extract so much more information. Now, me, trying to be as efficient as possible, I use these indicators, which I can take a quick look. Okay, tick trend is green, tick trend is red. Pretty simple stuff a 5-year-old can do. Okay, that makes me a lot more efficient. I have the alerts on my tick levels. Don't even have to look at it. I usually keep the tick charts on the upper level of my monitors. So just a quick peek, what color is tick trend? Okay, an alert went off, that's that alert. Okay, makes my job so much easier, and that's what I meant. So if you guys use ticks, throw these indicators on there. It just makes your life so much easier, especially if you're trading multiple markets. Let's look at the inputs. Okay, the tick levels, inputs. You have the zero line, and then you have the capability of plotting 4 lines above and 4 lines below. And if you want to change this to something else, you want to change it to 900, 1100, or if you want to change the downside to 900, this last line to 900, it's up to you. You can input anything you want in here. As you can see, line 3 and 4, I have the same levels inserted, and that's mainly because I just want to see the 500. I don't need to see anything else. And then you have your alerts, which you can set at whatever level is important to you. Just enable your alerts. Okay. If you want it to alert continuously, choose that. If you want once per bar or just alert once, that usually most people choose this because they don't want it to go off continuously. Just drive you crazy. And then use custom settings. Go to configure. If you want an audible and a visual, okay. If you want an audible, there's you have the Ahu, which is okay. That'll wake you up. Or if you want your own custom sounds, you can do that. Style, I usually keep the zero line thick and the rest thinner line. You can choose whichever you like, and colors are controlled here. Scaling, pretty much same as data. And those are your inputs. Now with the tick trend, really just use the default inputs. Everything's pretty much coded for you. You can change the colors, it's up to you. You can change the thickness of the line. We won't look at those, it's not necessary because it's fairly simple. Uh, and then let me just show you a couple charts, a couple of days of action, and as you can see, we open up, we go up, ticks come back down, market comes down, we go up to around this area where it's fairly even, and as you can see, the tick trend starts pulling higher, and it's in this area starting to show more bullish bias, and it gets even more bullish. Not a pretty up day, not a pretty up move, I should say, but a quick look can tell you what's going on. Okay, can give you an idea what the markets are doing, and obviously towards the end, more of a bullish bias. If you don't include this part, as you can see, pretty much, and it coincides with the price action. Come up and hit the 800, pull back right to the 0, and then right up to 1000. Look at these two bars here. This candle and this candle. Just being a student of price action, can't help to notice that. Look how we're testing these highs here. This consolidation is nothing more than getting ready to break above or break below. And with the ticks going up to around this area and hitting that 1000, I remember this day other indicators were showing a lot of price activity in this one bar right here, and the reason we know there was a lot of activity, look what happened as soon as we broke above that. We came back down to test it and we took off again. This was a key SR level. Anyways, that has nothing to do with the tick trend. Okay, horrible morning open because of this big gap. When we have these big gaps, it's not uncommon to see consolidation before the market gets enough information to find its direction. And as you can see, you could have scalped in this area if you just adhered to the tick trend. It's a simple indicator. It gives you, at a glance, you can quickly get an idea what's going on. As you can see, we break, ticks come down, we don't even hit 800, and then the market ES makes a lower low, tick trend high, tick trend another higher low, ES makes a lower low. Can you guys see the divergence? No wonder we started coming up here, because that was as much as they could, whoever was pushing this down, that's as much as they could go against the broad market. So that's pretty much these simple indicators. As I said earlier, if you use the ticks and you like it, no need to be glued to a ratio all day long. Just throw a couple indicators on it and make your life a lot easier. If you have any further questions, you can reach me by email, zuna-@hotmail.com.